Over the years, efforts to provide water, sanitation and hygiene wash services for rural and peri-urban communities exclusively go into the construction of new systems or rehabilitation. Financing mechanisms have also been limited to construction and initial implementation phase of projects. Very little consideration, if any, is given to support to the full life cycle functions of projects like post-construction support activities. This has left a huge sustainability gap, wasted development partners, national and community financial investments in the water and sanitation sector. As a result, the health, dignity, well-being and livelihoods of millions have been negatively affected by the unacceptable levels of system failures of between 30 to 40% across the globe. According to Peter Harvey of UNICEF Zambia, by May 2007, 36% of WASH investment of between 1.2 to 1.3 billion US dollars was lost in sub-Saharan Africa over 20 years. The World Bank 2007 Africa Infrastructure Country Diagnostic Water Supply and Sanitation Survey database also shows that rural water systems requiring rehabilitation were as high as 40% in Mozambique, 50% in Madagascar, and in Malawi, 75%. In Ghana, a study in 3 districts conducted by the WASHCost project and another conducted by the Triple-S project puts non-functionality of water facilities at a little over 30%. The question on the lips of many is what went wrong.
The district assemblies have been complaining that they lack funds to do this kind of monitoring and support to the water and sanitation boards and the water and sanitation committees. It is basically lack of funds.
There were a lot of costs that nobody had attempted to quantify, so these costs were being ignored. Costs, for example, of CWSA's total budget for supporting the wash sector. Costs of the district. Certain costs were borne in mind, like their logistics, their training, but other costs, their salaries, their admin budget, and so on, had not been borne in mind. Then, operation and maintenance costs were also not fully known.
No, it is the challenge of sustainability of systems is a problem everywhere, and UNICEF also has experienced that problem. Sustainability in terms of water supply systems that we have put into place. And you find that breakdowns take place, and the downtime of pumps is sometimes quite significant before they become repaired.
It is clear then that doing business as usual, that is increasing coverage by financing initial construction without taking lifetime costs into account, will result in breakdowns, failures, non-functionality and slippage, and this may just become the single most dangerous threat to achieving the MDGs. Othniel Habila again.
I think that for the first time we have an approach that is extremely important in the entire water and sanitation sector, not only in Ghana, but globally. As I know, the lessons from the experience here will be applied globally. What we have seen is that the approach to costing has been less than comprehensive in time past. We have not looked at the entire life cycle of systems that are put in place, from the beginning right up, from the time of planning right up to the time when systems are put in place and they are being maintained and services are being delivered. Through another sister program, the Sustainable Services at Scale, the service delivery approach has been introduced in Ghana, and we see that it is really helping to understand the full cycle of program implementation and the delivery of services, rather than just focusing on investments. When you invest, the facilities will last for some time, and then they decay, they run into disrepair, and then you need to reinvest again, and the cycle perpetuates itself. But if we focus on looking at the entire cycle of the delivery of services, then we are in a much better position to ensure that these services are sustainable, and community people and individuals are able to have the benefits on a sustainable basis.
Hitherto, we've been talking about community ownership. So you hand over things to them. One of the things that now we are talking about so far as post-project implementation is concerned is that make sure that, one, you have the leadership you have put in place to make sure that the facilities work. Number two, you want to make sure that they have an optimal tariff that will be able to assist them. And number three, you make some provision for maintenance over some time.
Without the increase in tariff, we cannot pay electricity. And when we fail to pay the bill, they will come and disconnect us, and then the community will stay without water.
Many of the communities are doing very well in operating and maintaining their systems in terms of meeting the recurrent costs. But when it comes to capital maintenance, which virtually had to do with replacing major parts of their system or expanding the system after its design period, communities are not well able to do that at all.
If that is the case, then what options are available? A committee set up to look at this has come out with some options.
We've looked at insurance. One is what we call deposit insurance, and then the other we call risk insurance. If you look at the 20% that by our strategy said the communities should be putting up for capital maintenance, they could as well now say that, look, let us take a premium and pay that money, to an insurance company that will be putting up this money and in investing them. After a certain period, if there is really no need for maintenance, these monies could be recouped, they could be paid back by the insurance company with some level of interest. Now, the second part is the risk management or risk insurance. Now, risk insurance involves the fact that if you look at our systems, the parts that are prone to risk, are the submersible pump and its starters. It is very often affected by power outages. We are telling the insurance companies and also dialoguing with the community. The insurance companies will have to assess that part of the systems that are insurable, and then they look at the premiums that the communities could pay. They dialogue on the premiums, and then the community puts up these premiums, and as and when the system now runs in trouble, then they can fall on the insurance companies to replace them.
An option, he says, is cheaper because premiums will be based on amount insured and not beyond the income generating capabilities of the communities. A third post-construction financing option is funds mutualization.
So the mutualization involves actually the communities pulling funds together. Now, and these funds will be managed by a credible funds manager, and then he will be investing these funds and making all the necessary profits that there is on it. So at any point in time that a system will break down or a system will require an expansion, then the funds manager will engage the requisite specialties to assess the system and see how much it will involve to expand the system or to replace those major components, and then he puts up the funds to get it.
Direct support cost has become very important in the scheme of WASHCost because supporting the district assemblies to actually monitor the water and sanitation systems will enhance the sustainability of the water and sanitation systems so that they can have the services all year round.
Who pays for broken down boreholes? How about replacing the major parts on water facilities? And when the population of a community increases, who pays for the expansion of wash facilities to the rest of the residents?